Good day and welcome to the Tradies Roadshow presented by Modus Operandi. My name is Linton May and I am the founder and director of ePlumbing Estimators. ePlumbing Estimators provides an outsourcing estimating solution for plumbing contractors throughout Australia and New Zealand. I have been involved in the plumbing industry for nearly 50 years, some of that time as a plumbing contracting business owner, as well as in various estimating roles with a variety of different size plumbing businesses. The last 8 years have been spent in my current role developing ePlumbing Estimators to what it is now as one of the leading trade outsourcing companies to plumbing businesses. As well as estimating services, ePlumbing Estimators assists contractors with making decisions on suitable estimating platforms to use. We provide estimating databases for Simpro in Australia and New Zealand, and other estimating platforms to work with stakeholders to obtain the best outcome for their estimating needs. I also provide estimating training and assist with setting up some other industry software packages. What is estimating and why is it important? To estimate is to appraise, evaluate, value, rate, and assess. The purpose of cost estimating is to predict the quantity, cost, and the price of the resources required to complete a job within a project scope. Cost estimates are used to bid on a new business from prospective clients and to create your job and budget planning process. So effectively, when you are asked to prepare a tender for a builder, the following must occur to be able to submit an accurate tender. Appraise. This would involve the full review of the tender documentation that has been issued. In other words, we are going to see what the job involves and what type of project it is. Evaluate. Here you would be assessing if the job is suitable for the company to undertake. What are the risks? And does the company have the required resources to be able to undertake the project? Does the company have the required resources to be able to undertake the project? Sufficient financial resources to be able to fund the project over the construction period? Here you might also be considering the builders on the tender list. Are they builders we normally work with, and how do they run their projects? Value. Once the project has been reviewed, you would have a budget figure of the project in the back of your mind. This could be determined by the type and size of the project and history from past and similar projects that you may have completed. Rate. This is where you would now measure and rate the project to obtain a true labour and material and plant cost. Assess. Once the measure has been completed and the costs have been obtained, a final assessment is carried out by management, where margins are added to obtain the company's desired profit margins. The estimator's job is an underrated position within most companies, and it takes a special person to take on this responsibility. One of the issues we face now is that there are not enough people being trained in the art of estimating, especially in the trade sections. This is putting strain on some trade businesses to be able to produce accurate and profitable tenders. It is also causing huge inconsistencies in pricing amongst subcontractors on the same projects. In my opinion, if a project is measured accurately using standard measuring principles, the price of the job should only vary no more than 5 to 10%. We are sometimes seeing variances of up to 30% on some projects. If a project is measured thoroughly, the material cost for a project should be very similar. The only difference being the purchasing power of a larger company based on volume versus a smaller contractor. The labour hours will vary slightly based on the company's skill sets and productivity. However, if standard rates are used for measuring and costing, the base labour hours should be very similar. The labour hours are adjusted based on the degree of difficulty of the project and productivity. The margins should be similar, as a company needs to recover a certain profit margin on labour to recover the company's overheads, plus make a net profit on the project. Fundamentals of estimating. Follow a process. Be methodical in your approach. Use technology to your advantage, that is, the use of digital platforms to measure projects. This will lead to better accuracy and less missed items. Use industry-recognised estimating software packages that suit your business. Do not let the salesperson sell you something you do not need and will not do the job. Do not expect a software package to solve all your problems out of the box. Create a must-do list and ensure the software will cover those aspects. Spend time learning and implementing the software you choose. If you don't have time yourself, ensure that the key people within your business are given the adequate training to use the software and achieve the results that you need. The owner of the business still should learn the basics so that they know if their investment in the software has achieved the required result. They should also be able to carry out simple tasks within the software that enables them to at least review data and understand what has been done. Invest in or create an accurate database of standard rates or price files. The best method of pricing a project is with the use of standard rates, which are preset with the defined materials, plant and labour costs linked to various supplier price files. This enables you to use up-to-date and accurate material pricing and use a standard labour cost. This method allows you to project price materials based on quantities to obtain better supplier pricing. At the end of the day, your pricing is only as good as the data you have in your database. Be prepared to adjust your rates job specific. Rates are only a guide or starting point to a task. An estimator's skill lies in assessing the degree of difficulty of the project and adjusting the rates accordingly. Adjust or build rates based on productivity. This can be useful for pricing drainage or in-ground works. You can build rates based on the number of metres per day installed for different types of pipe materials and applications. So if your company is skilled in certain tasks, then you can take advantage of that and adjust your rates accordingly. This is what can give you a competitive edge in the market. Assess the risks of the project. Know what your bottom line is, or what your bottom line cost is for the project. That is your labour and material costs, excluding profit margins. Break your job up into various cost centres. The common cost centres we use when estimating a project are labour, materials, subcontractors, excavation costs, excavator and plant hire costs, big ticket items, fixtures and tapware, preliminary costs and supervision. Having costs against each of these areas allows you to prepare more accurate budgets to cost against. These are the target budgets that your project management team has to work with to construct the project. Be prepared to walk away from a project when the builder's price expectations are too low. Let someone else go broke. You might as well stay home, play golf, rather than spend 12 months on a project for no reward. Software integration and the use of digital platforms. Every week I receive emails or phone calls from plumbing contractors seeking advice on software packages for their businesses. Unfortunately, there is not one solution out there that fits everyone. It would be great if there was. Every business has a different need. It is pleasing to see that businesses are starting to look at and implement better ways of managing their business and introducing technology that is available. Now that we have better internet infrastructure, the introduction of web-based applications is now becoming the new norm. The accounting programs were certainly one of the first to introduce this platform, which has been very successful. What are the advantages of using web-based technology? Usually they are subscription-based, so no expensive one-off outlays for software licenses. No in-house or off-site servers are required, which saves cost on expensive infrastructure in a multi-user environment. Generally allows more than one user to use the application at one time. Data is secure and backed up if your current PC dies. You don't have to worry about losing files, databases, etc. Accessible from anywhere, so long as you have an internet connection. This is particularly useful in the work from home situation and anyone travelling on the road. All that is required is a secure login to any computer and you can work. What web-based applications are available? Most accounting packages like Xero, which integrate with many third-party software applications. Job management applications like Workflow Max, Procore, Simpro and Arrowflow for job scheduling, invoicing, preparing basic estimates for clients, and project management tools. Groundplan for doing takeoffs and pushing the data back into your estimating platform to cost accurately. Most builders are using platforms like Aconex, Procore, and Estimate One for managing tenders, tender documents, and communication through a project. When working out what software package is suitable for me, what do I need to look for? Well, I guess it's like going shopping. You need to have a shopping list and write down what is the most important problem you need to solve and put them in an order of priority. It could be one of the following: estimating, job costing, job scheduling, job management, project management, accounting. When selecting software, do your due diligence. Look at all the options and then make an informed decision on what will work best for you. Is there adequate training available, and how fast can I implement the new software into my business? What are the ongoing costs? What is the attitude of your staff towards new technology? This can sometimes be the biggest stumbling block in introducing new technology, the fear of the unknown. Why do we have to change? The way I was doing it was working fine. This is a challenge for management, as it sometimes requires a rethink of the staff you have and are they prepared to assist in moving your business moving forward. Do not let the salesperson talk you into something you do not need. Take advantage of a trial period and have a play around to see how it works. Do your research. There is a lot of information out there. Use Mr. Google and YouTube. YouTube has a lot of online tutorials for different software packages. It is often an advantage to also engage outside consultants who are familiar with your type of business. They can assist with the setup and make the software work the way you need it. It might be as simple as preparing specific reports that you require. Post-tender. You have gone through the tender process, measured and costed the project, negotiated a price for the project, agreed on a scope of works, and signed a contract. Now the fun begins. There is a sense of excitement within the office. You have secured a project, margins were less than what you wanted, and now the nervous tension set in. What have we missed? or underquoted. This is now where having a good project management team and processes in place that can deliver the project on budget. As the business owner or manager, you made the commercial decision to take the project on for an agreed value. Now you must make it work. Don't overanalyse. Look at the big picture. Don't play any blame games if the estimator overlooked a couple of items. There will always be swings and roundabouts on a project. It's all about managing the swings in your favour and minimising the roundabouts. So how do I do that, you ask? Buy smarter. Negotiate your supplier pricing for the project. The suppliers will hate you, but at the end of the day, a supplier wants your business. It's amazing what can be negotiated, especially when there are large quantities of items. Use a purchase ordering system and control what is being ordered and sent to site. When ordering materials, they should be allocated to the job sections for job costing purposes. Use the takeoff as a guide to what quantities are required at a given time. Don't over-order and have materials sitting on site that cannot be claimed for or installed in that given month. Have a job costing system in place so you can track the profitability of the project. It's extremely important to track the labour hours used to each section of the job. This requires setting up timesheets that are filled out daily, with the times allocated to the job sections. There are apps now that the guys can have on their phones to do this daily. Value-added engineering. Can the project be redesigned to save money? It often pays to have a consultant that you can refer the original design intent to for review. Tell him or her that their fee comes out of the cost savings. Plus, there must be a cost saving for you as well. Productivity. Look at ways of doing things smarter, not harder. Use the right equipment for the right job. Use the biggest excavator you can get on site so you can excavate trenches faster, which means you can lay your in-ground services faster. Can you prefabricate items off-site? This lessens your on-site labour risk and allows you to build things in a workshop, factory environment, where you can create a production line which creates efficiencies. Use apprentice labour to do things that a tradesperson can do in the same time frame. You are saving money and providing training at the same time. Workshop penetration drawings. Sometimes it's an advantage to engage an outside consultant to prepare construction and workshop drawings. This can be the case on complex jobs where there are a lot of services in one area that need coordination. This will save time on site and often save rework, which costs twice as much. Penetration drawings and set out by a surveyor can save time on site and provide accuracy for penetration set outs. Spend money to save money. This applies to having the right equipment for the right job. Purchase as much of your own plant and equipment as you can afford. Avoid hiring where possible. You should allocate a percentage of your profits back into the business to purchase plant and equipment. Now is a good time to do this with the instant asset write-off. Talk to your accountant or financial advisor about this. Have a system in place for documenting and approval of variations. Make sure all variations are costed and submitted within the time frame, as per your contract. Get approval before commencing work and have the documentation in place to justify the variation. This may be due to a drawing change, where the scope of work has changed. I see so many contractors losing money because they have not captured and documented the variations correctly. Ensure you claim the variations progressively in your progress claims as work completed. You are entitled to be paid for approved variations that have been completed. Have a process in place for submitting your monthly progress claims. Ensure they are submitted on or before the due date as per your contract. Also make sure you track your retention monies and claim it back on the due dates. If the company is in a strong financial position, consider the use of bank guarantees for the final retention held until the defects liability period is over. This will assist with cash flow for the business, as often the retention held is the profit for the job. In my opinion, project management is more important in this climate than the estimating process. All the estimator is doing is confirming what the realistic budget should be for the project and to ascertain what it will cost to complete. The builder always has that magical figure as the budget, which is usually 10 to 15% lower than what the lowest price is. We all know where that 10% is going. The skill is being able to win a project at a price that a sensible net profit can be achieved. Outsourcing and offshoring. In recent times, business owners have had to be innovative and look at different ways to reduce costs in running their businesses, as well as sourcing labour to carry out specific tasks. Many people get confused between outsourcing and offshoring. So let me give you a brief overview of what the difference is. Let's look at outsourcing first. Outsourcing is the business practice of hiring a party outside a company to perform services and create goods that traditionally were performed in-house by the company's own employees and staff. Outsourcing is a practice usually undertaken by companies as a cost-cutting measure. It can also be used in a situation where it is difficult to find or engage a person to carry out a specific task. I will use estimating as an example. There is a shortage of people with this skill across all industries, and in particular, the service trades. Tradespeople are not being trained in this skill, and it also takes a special kind of person with the necessary skill sets to be able to take on an estimating role. Other types of tasks that could be outsourced within a business are bookkeeping services, accounting, drafting, specialist consultants, project management, and digital marketing. So now let's look at offshoring. What is offshoring? Offshoring is the relocation of a business process from one country to another. Typically, an operational process such as manufacturing or supporting processes such as estimating or quantity surveying. These activities are commonly carried out in countries like the Philippines and India. They are set up in facilities called business process offices or BPOs. Staff are generally hired on a seat leasing arrangement for a fixed monthly fee, which includes a workspace, internet, electricity, etc. The staff are paid under the local labour laws of that country and are hired and recruited by the seat leasing company or BPO provider. Their wages are included in your monthly seat leasing fee. There are many providers spruiking their services. However, care should be taken when selecting a provider, as some providers are not ethical, as they should be, and there can be hidden costs that are not divulged at the time of entering a contract. Having overseas staff does have its challenges and does not always work for every business. I'm happy to chat with anyone who's thinking of going down this path and give some useful advice. There are also freelance contractors available to do one-off tasks, like building a website. My suggestion here is to engage someone through a reputable website portal so you do not get scammed. I sincerely hope that some of the information I've provided will be useful to you guys who are business and service trade owners. This talk has been mainly geared towards the commercial plumbing contractor, undertaking commercial building projects under a subcontract agreement with a builder. I would also hope that some of the information given will assist the smaller contractor in the residential and domestic markets. The same principles apply, it's just on a different scale. Most plumbing businesses start off in the small market and by default usually grow into a larger business taking on commercial projects. Unfortunately, that transition can sometimes be painful due to the lack of knowledge of what you are letting yourself in for working in the commercial environment. If you are a plumbing business in Australia and New Zealand, e-plumbing estimators can assist you with the following services. Commercial plumbing pre-builds for Australian plumbing projects, ready to load into your Simpro and link to Reece Plumbing Supplies. We are currently working on the above for New Zealand plumbers using Simpro, which will also be linked to Myco. Link your ground plan accounts to Simpro, which will enable you to measure your projects accurately and push them back into Simpro using the pre-costed pre-builds to cost your tender. We can measure your current projects using your ground plan account and link to your Simpro. Estimating and takeoff service, providing full costings. Various reporting is provided so you can analyse your tender costs. In-house estimating training, travel permitting including New Zealand, advice on estimating platforms, advice on offshoring. Unfortunately, I am unable to take personal questions at this forum due to a current business trip in New Zealand. If you would like any assistance or have any questions, please jump onto our website at www.plumbingestimators.com.au and fill out an inquiry form with your details. Just mention the virtual roadshow in the Tell Us About Your Project section. I would like to thank the team at Modus Operandi for inviting me to speak at this Tradies virtual roadshow. I hope that some of the information provided has been useful and will assist you with growing your contracting business and maintain profit levels that each business deserves. Thank you.